City get beaten by Portsmouth, and due to some Iceland, we didn't have a match on Tuesday.
Hello and welcome to the Big Bank Theory podcast, Iceland.
Right, I know it doesn't make any sense, that. I know it doesn't make any sense, and I probably could have come up with something better, but I've just done it now because I forgot I had to do it.
Yeah, well, never mind.
You know.
I know.
Okay. There's ice on the land.
Yes.
And a fella from is he from Iceland?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
He's landed.
Something like that.
Fair enough.
Something about that.
Fine. Listeners, welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here, my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
So we thought we'd be talking about a bumper week, 2 games, transfers, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
Instead, we'd talk about a lot less.
Yeah. So we've just got the one match to talk about, and we've just got the one confirmed transfer to talk about,
and the one cancelled match to talk about.
And it's not even a real transfer, is it?
No. But
yeah.
Gary did go to Iceland.
Well, what? Yeah, that's the third. I was trying to maybe wonder if I could work in the third sort of Iceland pun, which would be something to do with the shop.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even manage to, so...
We're not here to point fingers, Dan.
Something about a
We've all made
prawn
mistakes.
ring. I don't know.
Yeah, nice. So let's talk about City away to Portsmouth on Saturday. Fratton Park. Lovely ground.
Yeah.
Lovely to see City playing in the ground like that.
Big. Not that big.
Close to the pitch. Old. Full. Lovely.
Yeah. There was some chat about Portsmouth fans not being that enthusiastic about it, but then I think they've just appointed this new manager.
Shirley Bassey's son was moved on quickly.
Yeah, so now they've got someone, Massinho, who's just an Oxford player.
That's right.
They've given the job to. And I think there's a lot of ownership things going on with Portsmouth, and they weren't too happy about that, and they were a bit dismayed at this fella coming in, but I mean, he got them a win.
Got them the win. First win at home since September or something, isn't it?
We got them a win. But, and at one point, did you see that there was the timeless classic of football, the little biplane going over with the message on the back.
Was there?
Yeah.
What did it say?
Something about the owners.
Oh.
See you later. I didn't write it down.
If I was going to do a biplane over Exeter City, I know what yours would say, by the way. It would say, don't leave for a half-time pasty until half-time.
Yeah, words to that effect, yeah.
Mine...
You're probably have to pay by the letter, so I'd probably try and,
You could have to condense it a bit.
Dawn, love, Lee, marriage,
Yeah, exactly. I would say, I've always hated Argyle, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, again, long.
It's long, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like that. That's such a classic, isn't it? Like fans hiring out. I even looked up, how much is it?
How much is it?
I think, I can't remember. 75 quid an hour or something?
Wow. There's different levels of like crowdfunding activity, isn't it? Like there's the real positive end, like we're going to raise money for to take 5,000 supporters to the women are in the FA Cup 4th round and we're all going to go, and brilliant. And then there's like, get a new flag that says, down with Torquay.
Well, first the classic ones are like the bed sheet.
Oh, yes.
If you're protesting against like owners or whatever, big bed sheet with like writing on it.
Yeah.
And then, as you move up the scale towards the plain message.
No one's ever taken out, or maybe they have, sponsored Facebook post.
I bet they have.
Yeah. Something to think about.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there.
Anyway, the football, City started very well.
Yeah, in fact, first half we were all over them really.
And
they looked as sort of abject as everyone had been making out, and as their league position suggests.
The WhatsApp groups, however, for me, were full of Collins on the bench. First time in a long time.
Yeah, so that was the big news really, and then it was it's a midfield three of Harry Kite, the new fella Joe White, and then Kegs Chowke.
Yeah,
with Collins on the bench. Yeah, like you said, for the first time in ages. And then you had Brown and Nombe up front, Key and Caprice, and then the usual 3 centre backs.
And
Jamal Blackman.
Yes, there's a headline to be written in the midfield combo of chowky and white, because it's almost chalky white.
Yeah.
What that is, I don't know. Something for you to work out Western Morning News, Western Daily Press.
Yeah. What are they called? They're not called Western Morning News anymore.
There's two different ones.
Oh, is it?
Western Daily Press is Cornish, but they report on Exeter City as well.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Also, there's, what's the free Exeter paper called? The Leader. Does that still
I
exist?
don't think the Leader is still going.
Is it not?
Is it not? Maybe someone
don't
get in
know.
touch if the Leader is still going. Do you know, people used to have, like you'd really got the bad end of it if you had a Leader round when you were a kid, because you had to do it every day.
Yeah.
Every day, and every single house is getting one of them. Whereas you just had like a kind of like.
Was the
normal-
Leader every day, was
I
it?
think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe not.
But it was every house.
And then if you had like a normal one,
Yeah.
you just go, it's just like weekends, or maybe some people were supposed to be doing paper rounds every day. I never had a paper round because I just didn't fancy it.
I was every day. I was Monday to Saturday, doing all the morning papers.
That's 6 days a week, but yeah.
That's a fair point. And then I'd also do like the Mid Devon Gazette within
Wow.
that round.
I never had a paper round, just like it sounded so bad.
And of course, you lived up the top of a hill as well, which is to be.
Yeah, the terrain one ideally suited for it. My brother had one, and every now and then I'd have to like tag in for it. Do you know when he was like ill or whatever, and I hated it. I could be like Sunday papers and like
Massive.
like the Sunday Times huge. You got to put it through in like bits.
Yeah, I didn't
Someone's
mind it.
got,
I
like,
liked
a
all that.
tiny little letterbox with a dog on the other side of it, like chewing your hand off.
All these
No,
things sound good to me.
I'd rather not have the money.
£6. Anyway, how did we get onto that? City were all over Portsmouth. Oh yeah, Chowky White. But couldn't score, could we? First half. So Nombe had an excellent shot,
Yep, good effort.
and then Key had a very similar shot that should have tested the keeper more. Giovanni had a shot.
We definitely had chances.
We
yeah.
had chances.
And
I felt like it might come back to bite us.
yeah, we didn't capitalise. I mean, we've been having a bit of trouble scoring recently, haven't we? Like we haven't been free scoring like we had in the past, and I think it's
But those were clear chances.
yeah. I think it's I don't know what it's about. I mean, it's we're settling in. It's still a kind of settling in kind of time, and I feel like Caldwell came in and just like, right, I've got to sort this defence out, and now we've got these kind of the injuries seem to have cleared up in that back three. Do you mean it seems like it's been like Czech, Hartridge, Sweeney for a while, and I think they seem a bit more settled.
Yeah.
We've definitely been better at not conceding stupid goals. Like both the goals that we'll talk about. I mean, really, not a huge amount of defence could have done about them,
indeed.
and not much anyone really could do about those two goals. And it was like that's what's disappointing, because they just kind of got a bit of luck basically where we kind of didn't.
Yeah. Didn't take.
But we weren't
fortune, did
clinical
we?
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it turned out the Collins on the bench wasn't necessarily a portent of dark times, because he came on for.
Well, we'll come on to the transfer section in a bit.
Yeah, but anyway, he came on, didn't he? He obviously wasn't
Comes
just
on
there
at
to be
half time,
mothballed.
yeah, because Kegg's one at it. His touch was all over the place, like just really poor touch.
I got to be honest.
It's kind of bouncing off him.
I'm yet to be convinced by him.
No, he had a couple of games where he looked
Okay.
where he looked really
promising.
good.
He
like,
looked
but
promising.
I thought there was one match where I thought he was decent.
What he showed was a bit of urgency, wasn't it? There was one game when he came on as a sub when we needed something, and he did that.
I think there's one where he started as well where he had a good. It's been a mixed bag, but I'm not convinced by him. Like you should be starting every game. It was not like, but with Joe White, he came on for his debut last week, and you look straight away like, oh yeah, this guy should be playing. And then the same in the first half. I was the same at half time. I was like, this guy's good. He is
good.
Didn't really look like we missed Archie Collins in there necessarily. If he was a replacement for him, I mean, if you look at it as like, okay, well, maybe Dieng would have played instead of Keggs, if it was a few months ago, and then Collins instead of White, you could see that. So well, that's okay. He slots in quite well there, and he's a good player, and I really like looking forward to seeing what else White can do.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Anyway, second half, obviously we didn't capitalise, 0-0 half time. they scored an absolute scorcher.
Well, they came out.
They
And
came
were
out better, didn't they?
Much, much better, and it was coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a
It was 25-yard.
volley.
Yeah.
Caught it on the volley, didn't he?
And it never drops or goes above a foot off the ground, does it really?
Nah, beauty.
Blackman couldn't get to it. Not much you can do about that, really, if we're honest. Although they were going to score, I think.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looked like it, didn't
I
it?
mean, you could make a slight argument that it wasn't closed down quick enough, but then, I don't think that's an error as such, but yeah.
And then another shot from distance, not as far out, not as cleanly hit, not as difficult to save. Basically hit at Blackman. And he hasn't done any of these, or very few mistakes.
Oh, this is the second goal. Oh, it's
second goal.
It's a very tame shot, and he kind of went on Twitter afterwards and apologised for it, which I mean, I get why he's done it, because he's probably embarrassed, because it's just kind of rolled over his hands.
It's not like him, is it, at all?
No, but it turns out I think maybe he picked it, so he's now injured.
Yes.
And I think he got that injury before that happened, so maybe that's it. He wasn't making excuses for that, but by the way, he didn't mention the injury. But it's one of those things. He's in recent kind of weeks, months, he's been excellent, and he's saved us.
Yeah.
Literally saved us points, so one error like that. It's the first time we've seen him do anything of that sort.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens to Hugo Lloris almost every week in the Premier League. So,
It does.
I mean, I don't think we should be too hard on him.
No. So that's 2-0, game done. Not much we could do about that.
No.
City took 1,500 fans. Excellent, as always. Sold out our allocation.
Yeah.
Great to see. We're all looking forward to...
Portsmouth supporters sort of full of praise for City fans as well. There's a couple of tributes for some fans of theirs that have died that I think City kind of, were nice about. And I think they were just quite impressed with
Yeah, that's good.
the travelling support, which is great.
Talking of travelling support,
Yeah.
last night,
Yeah.
St James Park,
Meant to be City Barnsley.
Barnsley had sold 350 tickets. Long
Had they?
old, yeah.
Yeah.
Long old way.
Long way away.
Um,
Where's Barnsley? Near Leeds.
yeah, Yorkshire, isn't it? Kind of between Leeds and Sheffield.
All right.
And flipping awful, isn't it? So obviously it's cold at the moment. Me and you are sat... Listeners, let me just paint a picture for you. As Dan mentioned last week, we're holding cold microphones. Dan's now got one Exeter City glove on in his microphone holding hand.
Yeah.
Just, fully on brand.
Well, I thought it worked quite well. It's a kind of,
It's red, by the way, bright red.
bright red Exeter City glove. Just one of them on, like Michael Jackson, our, spiritual father.
God, don't say that. Imagine.
Well, he is. So there's no point denying it.
Oh, no.
So it's sort of a tribute to that and keeping my hand warm. Better than this bit of cardboard I had last week.
Oh,
So-
you've ditched the cardboard.
Oh, there's no need for both.
Okay,
That
fair
cold.
enough.
But yeah, it's cold out, so it looked like it. We knew there was like these freezing temperatures. Everyone's seen the frost on their cars,
Bins.
bins,
Glasses.
back gardens. So, I think I texted you, didn't I, like the day before, being like, I think it's going to be off.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, it's getting warmer.
Just
Didn't
like I
get
know.
warmer, it got colder.
It did get colder.
And
I
think-
mistook the sun coming up for warmth.
Yeah, so they pulled off the covers in the morning. They were like looking good. And
We're talking about the match officials here. The groundsman, not like my wife or anything. No,
Well, yeah, no, I don't know what she did, but
she's not
Yeah.
that cruel.
Chaz and Dave,
Yeah.
or whatever they're called, Chaz
Yeah.
and the lads,
Yeah.
took the covers off. I think they'd left a bit uncovered or something.
Yeah, an arrangement I didn't quite understand.
I don't know. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
He's the sort of football Alan Titchmarsh kind of bloke, isn't he?
Footballing Titchmarsh.
I don't know what
Yeah.
he is. What is he? A gardener? Sort of gardener guy?
I think a groundskeeper.
Yeah, but that's sort of gardener, isn't it?
Sure.
He's the Exeter
Florist.
City gardener.
Yeah.
And he's decided that only they need to put these covers on a bit of the pitch.
Yeah.
So they take it off. It's all sunny and it's like, oh, this will probably be all right, And then but it's like you're looking at the temperatures, and it's like it's going to be like back below freezing by
2 in the afternoon.
No, like 6.
Yeah.
So, and they can tell the way it's going, and because this ridiculous method they have for calling off games,
Yeah.
they have to wait for the travelling ref,
Who's coming from Lancashire?
who's coming from as far away as Barnsley, to get there, so he can inspect the pitch and then go, oh yeah, it's off. Which they did at like 5 p.m. By which time, obviously,
All the travelling supporters are there.
every single Barnsley fan would have had to basically, if you're not very close to Exeter, you've already been there. It's insane.
It's mad.
And then we don't make any money from that match. So it'd be like, oh, whatever. So you have to like chuck away a load of pasties and beer, which they were trying to flog off cheap. But
Yeah.
who knows whether they managed
I mean,
to do
also, worth mentioning, lots of City supporters travelling as well. Like,
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's that too, yeah. It's just insane. Like, why does it have to be that ref that comes, like, why does it have to be him? Why can't it just be any ref?
Yeah.
From anyone at all? Why can't they just train someone else to do it?
I mean, if only there was some sort of office in Exeter that dealt with, like, I don't know, meteorological things, who would know things.
But
that
they
were cold.
don't even know if it's going to rain. Like, if it's raining outside, they'll tell you it isn't.
Yeah, that is true.
But like, you can have like someone could come down and like just put a fork in the pitch and go, yeah, it's frozen. You'd think, rather than
Put
wait
a fork in
for-
me, I'm frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
obviously the internet's furious.
Yeah.
Exeter City admin getting it right in the neck.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, lads. You took that job knowing full well what sort of world you were getting yourself into.
Deary me.
So, but
So that's
I'm
off.
sure they're used to it. Game's off.
Game's off. So
Annoying.
I tucked myself in, put my covers back on.
Yeah. It was cold yesterday, though. So it was like, well, I did want to go to the football, but at least I ain't got to stand outside for 2 hours now.
Dan, can I overshare?
Yeah.
I went to Primark yesterday afternoon to buy myself my first ever pair of long johns.
Oh, that was true.
That was true.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And they
Wow.
remain unused.
You're really getting ready for it.
I was frozen. I was frozen in work, and I thought, I'm not having this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You got to get the thermals on at some point when it's like that cold.
Well, I
mean,
never have before.
Sometimes, it's not necessary. It's not that cold here, but
No.
I saw
Anyway,
this thing online about why it's colder in Britain than it is in sort of frozen parts of the world where it's like -40.
why it feels colder, you
Why
mean?
it feels colder.
Yeah.
And this guy was explaining it. Oh, it's to do with moisture in the air. La, 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 la. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then I just saw another thing saying, yeah, that's all bollocks. Not true at all.
I'll tell you why it's colder in Britain. Because you sit out watching Exeter City in the evening and they get beaten 6-1 by Chesterfield. There's not a cold like it. Remember that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone remember that one?
Coldest I've ever been in my life was at, I think it was Stockport County
Oh, yeah.
ground, yeah. That cold. I was young, but I remember that's the coldest I've ever been.
My friend lives in Inverness, and Inverness Caledonian Thistle's ground is, honestly, it's on an island in the middle of the river. The equivalent would be like where the sewage water treatment place in Exeter, except it's very northern,
Yeah.
and we're looking directly at the North Sea. So there must be colder pitches than here, but doesn't mean it's not freezing. Anyway, it didn't happen. Did not happen.
Didn't happen.
What else has happened is also not a lot, except for some transfers, which we'll tell you about in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. Would you like recommendations for thermal underwear? You can get in touch with us at Big Bang Pod on Twitter, bigbangpod@gmail.com on email,
If you will, yeah.
and
sorry.
Big Bang Theory on Facebook. Daniel.
If you'd like my recommendation, it's don't buy anything from Primark. Don't buy anything from Primark. Definitely not. Do you hate yourself that much that you'd
I tell you what. I
that
tell you
you
what
put
happened.
that as the first layer onto your body?
I tell you what happened.
On the main,
Yeah,
one-
my main part.
covering some of the main parts.
My main part, whatever. But I went to Marks and Spencer's, and all they had was XL, and
Right.
I'm not XL. And then I went to H&M, and all they had was XXL.
Wow, all these sort of short kings buying up all the long johns, are they?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say they were fair weather long john wearers, but that's the exact opposite of what they are. So then I went down Primark, and they did have them in my size.
Right.
So that's what happened.
I just don't reckon they do anything.
They did something more than nothing, I suppose.
Maybe. Might just
Anywho.
trap a layer of cold inside you.
Maybe. Lesson would be learned. They were only £6, so...
That's sort of quite expensive for Primark, isn't it, as well? £6.
I mean, they're Greg's... You know, got a Greg's range in there. You can buy like a Greg's sweatshirt. Greg's the baker. Bizarre.
I mean, that's the most 2023 statement I've ever heard.
Fair enough.
And I don't want any part of it.
No, well, you don't have to. You don't have to. But I will have to return one of your birthday presents. So we thought there was a game last night, and so did Gary Colwell. So he had to bring in, because of Blackman's...
Yeah, this is one of
injury.
this is an interesting situation because but I don't think we really even knew Blackman was injured.
No.
But maybe that's because I wasn't paying attention or watching all the post-match stuff. But he was.
Well, I guess he played the whole game, didn't he? So you won't
Yeah.
actually know till Sunday or Monday, I suppose.
So everyone's expecting some transfers this week, or had been, or some activity of some.
Yeah, well, we
description.
got a nod about one, didn't we? And then
On the day of the match that never even happened, we announced that. Go on, you say it.
well, we've signed our old friend, Icelandic City's only Icelandic player, Jokal Andersson,
Yeah, for the third time.
for the third time on a 7-day emergency loan.
Yeah, presumably that's it then. He's not even going to play.
And I was then reminded that we've never seen him play in person.
Yeah, this is what someone else said to me. Is this definitely?
Is that true?
Is it? Yeah, because I think he signed in January 2020.
Right.
And was there no matches then for that rest of that season that anyone could
Or
go
did we
to?
see him at the beginning then of that? No, that season's...
No, we were back indoors by then, weren't we?
No, March 2020 was when the pandemic happened. So was it January 21?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't ever... Now that people said it, I
Someone
was like, maybe I've never seen him.
I don't know. Someone just write in.
Yeah, let us know. Have we seen Anderson in the flesh, or is he just a meme that says Afram City?
Because I went to those ones where only about 100 people were allowed to go, and
Yeah.
Big Bank, and then so if he was just played in that, then some people, I don't know. Is that true or
That
not?
was the next season, wasn't it?
I don't know. Is it true?
Is it true?
Yeah. Anyway, he's back, but then he'll be gone again, won't he?
He'll be gone again, but he might play on Saturday.
It'll be a sort of mad quiz question in the future, won't it? Like a really difficult one about this,
Yeah.
player who played for a club 3 times, but no one ever saw him play.
Who am I?
Yeah.
The other
He's such a likable
he's such a likable fella.
bloke, isn't he?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have him in the squad.
Yeah.
Just as he could.
We've had a lot of likable
I'd
keepers.
I'd keep Blackman above him. I think he's better, but I'd have him in there.
Who'd be your
second
third choice? Dino Visser?
Yeah, I loved him as well.
Yeah.
We've had some. We've had
some
good
absolute
keepers.
beauties.
We've had some other ones as well.
Yeah, but when you think about recently,
Like Pim, I liked Pim, but you wouldn't call him kind of. He wasn't like.
he wasn't Instagrammable,
Was
was
he kind of like? You wouldn't describe him as affable, would you, Christy
No.
Pim?
No, you wouldn't.
And then
Darren Ferguson definitely didn't.
no,
He hurled a bin at him. Or
and
whatever he
then
did.
who else?
Ben Hamer, excellent goalkeeper. Don't remember him having any personality at all.
No. Max Stead.
No, I mean Lewis Ward was quite likeable, mainly because he wore 2 hats. Wore his hats over some headphones once.
Yeah, he was a nice fella, wasn't he? I've always felt a bit sorry for him. He's one of those people that sort of seemed so nice and nerdy that you feel bad for him.
He'd be all right. He'll come good.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back to the dim and distant now.
Paul Jones,
Yeah, Peter Fox.
Cry Shack.
I'm not going even further back than you. Martin Rice.
Sure. Anyway.
Martin Rice, a face only a mother could love.
Martin. Anyway, what happened, Dan, yesterday? No, last week. We thought there was a signing coming in, and in fact, he was training with us, by all accounts. Matty Pollock
Yeah.
of Watford, formerly of Grimsby.
Yeah.
Now, he may still... This is a loan. He may still come, but he was recalled at Watford because new manager or new coach or something.
No, wasn't it injuries? Didn't they suddenly have an injury or something?
Oh, that's right. And a new manager.
Right. I mean, they always have
sorry.
a new manager. But, yeah, But he had been training with us according to certain,
We were expecting the announcement.
certain kind of
Sources.
reputable-ish sources.
Yeah. So still
And-
no signing.
But yeah, and so a lot of people seem to be in for him. There was talk of Sheffield Wednesday and teams like that. But apparently there was always kind of reports from these random people on the internet saying, that he's coming to Exeter, and then we're still yet to see it. So I don't know.
We don't know if it's dead in the water or if, no pun intended.
The puns have been done.
Yeah, they have. But that was quite a new one.
That was
So we don't know.
Don't get me wrong. I liked it, but I'm just.
If he doesn't come, we still need some kind of defensive reinforcement, I would say. We also need some other kinds of reinforcements, I would say.
We definitely need it. We need stuff everywhere, really. And there's also quite a lot of rumours of our current players leaving. There's a lot. We've already Dieng's gone, Kite's gone.
No, Jay's gone.
Sorry, Jay's gone. There's the Sam Nombe to Millwall rumour, which has been kicking about for a bit. There was something about Archie Collins to Sunderland. Although apparently they've just signed a central midfielder, so I don't know if who knows. Josh Key to Blackpool, but I don't know if that one came from a kind of a fake account or anyway. And Giovanni Brown to someone, but if you think those are best players, there's a rumour they're going somewhere.
Yeah, it's now the 25th of January.
Yeah, and we've made one loan signing and one emergency loan signing.
Now, and
sold 2 players.
If any more leave,
we
need to bring in 3 players. I think we need 2 minimum.
I think we need, And
then if anyone leaves,
top of what we got.
On top of what we got.
Yeah.
If they start going, because obviously Collins, for example, has been a very, very stable person in that team and that squad.
Yeah, and the way that's the trust model working to its absolute optimum, isn't it?
Yeah.
A guy coming through who costs you nothing, come through the ranks, then becomes a player who starts every single game and plays in the promotion season, and then still starts every game in the next division up. That's the absolute apex of the academy to first team kind of model. I feel like if all these players go, it suddenly becomes a big rebuild, doesn't it?
It really does.
Caldwell, and that might sort of already be happening. We've already seen a couple go. They weren't first choice players. I know that, but if the other ones, if a few more start to go, it's and the way that football transfers are at the moment, especially down in around us and below, these teams paying out contracts National League teams that kind of completely outpricing teams like us, and we're 2 divisions up.
Yeah,
and there's teams like Gillingham.
Yeah,
who can who are bottom of League 2, but can prize away players who regular players for us by offering them more money. We're in trouble if this situation is not good for Exeter City.
I tell you my other concern, which isn't a long. It's not a long. What am I saying? This is a current concern because I think things will change. But I don't see anyone on the bench from the youth setup who can come in and play a lot of games. I think they all, for whatever reason, Cox hasn't been trusted in the way that we thought he was going to be. Harry Lee's obviously not been trusted in the way that we thought he was going to be.
I think part of that's we have gone up a division.
Fine, but that just means previously here comes Czech. He'll just do it now. That's fine.
Yeah.
Here comes Hartridge, Collins, Kite. 18 months ago, Kite was nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know who those next lot are. Now, I might be completely naive, and actually they're all ready to go. Billington but we lost Pond, who was probably going to be the next one.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happened with Cox, to be honest.
He's just gone on loan to Bath, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
it just doesn't always happen, does it?
It doesn't always happen.
They've got to make that step up from excellent youth player, and then up to men's football, and it doesn't work out. Look at Ben Seymour,
Indeed. So that's the concern, isn't it? So Gary, in his interview after Saturday, said he expected to be very busy. Very busy. Now, obviously, with the Joe White thing, that kind of reminds us he's got good connections at other clubs. And Newcastle, for example, is a big enough club. He could probably go and pick up 3 more players from there.
Yeah, but I don't know if we're allowed that many loans, are we?
Is there a rule about loan
I think
numbers?
we've already got 5, and I think 5 might be the maximum. I don't know if that includes emergencies, and
Is that right? I didn't know there was a loan limit.
It's something like that.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
And then obviously we've got Harper, who
Yeah.
we're not using,
No.
but is still here. Now that might just be...
He might just be training and they...
No, but it might also just be, well, you agreed to take him on a season loan.
Yes.
We don't want him back.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's a little bit...
Yeah, because if Harper starts playing and turns out to be, like for like with Dieng, which he kind of looked like he could be.
He didn't look awful to me.
No, he didn't look awful to me.
But
He had
Caldwell obviously
doesn't trust
has
him.
other ideas. Who knows what that's about, but I don't know.
Yeah, because that's right. If we're not saying there's no one in the entire setup that can't be useful and used, but on the current ones he's using, there seems to be big gaps.
Yeah.
Anyway, Saturday's game is MK Dons up at Stadium MK. Sticks in my throat even saying it, but there we are.
Why did they do it that way around? Why don't they just call it MK Stadium or the Milton Keynes Stadium?
Milton Keynes Stadium, that'd be fine, wouldn't it? I mean, it wouldn't because it's
What
awful.
road's it on? Call it that.
They don't have roads, they have grids. Call it the Grid Stadium.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a hideous waste of time. They're struggling. They brought in, weirdly, you don't often see this, do you? Their new manager came in just before Christmas, Mark Jackson, and he was Jesse March's first team coach at Leeds. So he's obviously a good coach.
Right, okay.
Came with him from Germany. He's now the manager at MK. It's not going very well for them at the minute.
No, I think they've only won 1 in 5, and that was against Forest Green. So
Spent a lot of money on Will Grigg.
Will Grigg, yeah, he's there. Scored 5 or something, I think.
I'm very glad. Do you remember there was talk of him in the summer coming to us, wasn't there? And once again, we've been proved right on not spending a lot of money on some older player.
Yeah, but sometimes we've been proved right on doing exactly that.
I don't think we spend the money though, do we? I think.
I know, we don't want to spend any money. You want to take him for nothing, yeah. Anyway, so that's coming up. It'll be interesting because that'll be... Well, it's the 28th, so it's a few days closer to the end of the transfer window. Maybe there'll be some more. I mean, it's the best part of a week to get a few things done.
Maybe Anderson will have to start. We don't know.
So that'll be...
That'll still be within the 7 days.
Yeah, so that'll still be within the 7 days.
Yeah. I mean, the promising things are Joe White looks excellent. That's an excellent boost. He's definitely a step above Matt J or Dieng, I would say.
Yeah, and while every day that goes past without us signing a player is a worry, every day that goes past without us selling a player is also a good thing.
We don't want to lose him.
I'm sure there's going to be movement on both fronts, but...
Now, Taggy's not daft, is he? And like with Bowman, was that 3 seasons ago now? We had an offer with half an hour to go in the window kind of thing, and he's just not taking it. So... He's not
crap after that. They wanted Bowman.
I know, but I think that was the right. I think that was the managerially that was the right decision.
Yeah,
and I think Taggy will judge it on a person by person basis, and with Caldwell as well.
Well, hopefully it's not just Taggy making the decisions.
Do you know what I mean? I have some faith that we're not just like no, please let's have your money. We don't have to do that. We'll make sensible decisions, like we've said all along. Some of these players will keep to the summer and then lose them for nothing, but maybe that's okay.
Yes.
End goal is, of course, stay in League One for another year.
Yeah.
Build on what we've got.
But what's it going to look like? I don't know. This is too far in the future to worry about at the minute.
We always need squad rebuilds. We had a good season, didn't we, before the promotion season of managing to keep most of who we had and building on that.
Yep.
Most seasons, actually, we need to bring in significant numbers. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll be back after MK.
We don't know when this Barnsley match is getting rearranged for yet, do we? But
now, will we wait till after the
that.
transfer window's closed before we do the next episode? We'll see. We'll make a judgment.
Keep
Keep your eyes on your podcast provider, listeners, as I know you do. Waiting.
So when's it close? On the 31st? Yeah, maybe we will then.
That's the Tuesday, is it?
Yeah, so that'll be... We're back a week today.
A week today,
yeah.
I mean, hopefully... Something will have happened, so we'll have something to talk about. Otherwise, you'll be like, why have we waited for this? Maybe you often ask that. Why have we waited for this?
I don't think anyone is waiting for it.
They're talking about the Exeter leader again.
Yeah. The leader. If you used to deliver the leader, and,
Yeah. Was
you
it
wanna,
daily? Was it weekly?
You want to come on the podcast and do a full hour on it, then I don't know, something we could look at.
Do you ever think we should team up with like Exeter Memories on Facebook? And
I'd love to. Did you ever have one of those luminous paper boy bags?
I did.
But then use it as your kind of
school bag?
school bag
I never did that.
in a kind of like, when sort of people... It's similar energy to when people nick a pair of bowling shoes and wear them, wear them around town. Anyone ever done that? I know someone who did. You wear an old pair of shoes down to GX Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
Leave them behind.
then you get the bowling shoes, leave them behind, and then you can wear those bowling shoes at your will.
In Columpton, there was a fashion for... There was almost a trading floor for... If you worked somewhere weird... Creeley being high on the list. Maybe you were the Creeley Bear, Verbier Manor. And then you'd have some sort of staff wear, which then you'd sell to your weird goth mates,
Right.
of whom I was friends with. And, so kids would be wearing like, oh, you're wearing like a hat from Two Cooks Bakery. And be like, yeah, got it off me, mate.
There's somewhere called Two Cooks, was there?
It was in Garrick Street, still there.
I thought it was called Three Cooks.
Oh, was it?
There was one called Three Cooks.
One of them died.
Right, yeah.
R.I.P. They
was
just scrubbed him out on
Three Cooks.
Three Cooks
is where it's sort of like the old where the milkmaid used to be. I think it's like Hub Box or something now.
Yeah.
Three Cooks.
Three Cooks.
Bakery was there.
Yeah, isn't Two Cooks? Oh, I don't know. I've got my cooks. I've miscounted
Maybe it's
my
sort
cooks.
of Adidas Puma kind of situation.
Yeah, they've gone off. Well, maybe but
Yeah,
anyway, there was
the only
good, there
thing
was
I
good
can say about
trade in
that is
kind of stuff.
A guy I knew worked in Hawkins Bazaar, and he
Yes.
would sometimes wear his Hawkins Bazaar polo shirt just out.
Yeah, same. But we'd be wearing like Verbier Manor t-shirt or Warren's Bakery hat.
Wow. I mean, every day I learn something new about how weird Columpton is. And all these little villages around Exeter.
Yep.
I've never been to any of them, and I don't want to.
Well, you're missing out on a lot of treats, including those.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back some point next week. That was a weird noise, sorry. We'll be back some point next week to talk about Gary Colwell's burgeoning squad, who he's brought in, who's been let go, and how it's gone up the MK.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.